Hi, this is AK Saraf from mwinventory.in. In this post, we are going to talk about the Weblogic SNMP setup. Okay, so the video that we are actually recording is a supplementary artifact for the post that we are making, which is Weblogic SNMP monitor. A brief walkthrough. Okay, in this post we have covered what is SNMP, the operations and working principles of SNMP, and what is WebLogic and SNMP. How SNMP works with WebLogic. Easily. What is an MBean? What is a OID? Okay, and what are the models available in terms of configurations? And all the steps have been discussed theoretically. I would recommend you to follow this post as well while you are watching this video, so that it would be a great help for you to understand, and so that we would be on the same page. So let me get started. I am logging into my WebLogic 12c console. I have WebLogic 12c here. You can pretty much apply these steps in WebLogic 11g and WebLogic 10 as well. But I haven't tried it in 10, but 11g I'm sure it will work. So in the post, as we have mentioned, there are actually two type of models in WebLogic SNMP implementation in WebLogic. Okay, one is a centralized model, another one is a decentralized model. When you are creating an SNMP agent at the domain level, I mean at the domain scope, which is called a centralized model. Okay, when you are creating server specific SNMP agents, it will be called as decentralized model. Okay, in an admin server, you can create two SNMP agents. One will be the domain scoped SNMP agent. The another one will be the server specific. Okay, server specific SNMP agent. So I have four managed servers, one admin server, which means I can create five server SNMP agents. And by default, when I am installing installing and setting up the domain, I would have domain scoped SNMP agent created and waiting right there for me. Okay, I have just created my domain. I haven't made much configuration, so I'm just able to see I the domain scoped SNMP agent is created with matching my domain name. I'm just going in. So by default, the SNMP agent is not enabled. I have to enable it, and I have a standards for my system that I have to keep all the ports in 4-digit, but you can go with default as per your desire. So here there is a community based access enabled. What is this community based access enabled? Okay, so there are actually three versions in SNMP traps. Okay, we call it SNMP v1, v2 and v3. When you are using SNMP v1 and v2, you will be using a methodology called community based access. Okay, this is actually works as a username and password kind of authentication mechanism. When you're using v3, it will not use the clear text password like this. It will use some kind of more secured way. Okay, when you're using v1 and v2, you would be using this community based access enabled. And where is the username and password? Okay, this is the username and password that you are going to use. The community prefix that you are seeing here will be used as the username and password. We will tell you like when you will be using it as a password. Okay, as an overview, the SNMP read only community string is like a user ID and password, which is sent along with each SNMP GET request, and allows or denies. The SNMP manager will allow or deny based on the the community prefix name. Okay, as a convention, by default, WebLogic and all the SNMP implementation devices will be using this public as a community prefix, but you can change it if you want. Okay, I am changing it to Sarav AK here, and I am setting a trap version to v2, and that's it. I am not making any other changes. There is other thing that we have to discuss about, which is an inform enabled. Okay, there are actually two notifications the SNMP agent will generate, and it will send to SNMP manager. What is this two notification? The first notification is called a trap notification, which is a asynchronous type of messaging. It will just initiate, and it will not wait for an it will not wait for an acknowledgement. When it coming to an inform notification, okay, it is a synchronous. It will wait for the manager to acknowledge the message. Otherwise, if the SNMP manager is unavailable or if it is not acknowledging, it will keep on retrying it. Okay, how many times it has to retry and what is the interval and everything, you can configure it here. Inform retry interval, maximum inform retry count and everything. As of now, I'm not going with inform, so I'm just saving it. And there are four monitors available here, like cause monitor, string monitor, counter monitor, log filters, and attribute changes. Actually five. So these monitors are used to create a kind of trap. Okay, these traps will be triggered on certain scenario. Let's say that you wanted to achieve a requirement, like whenever your managed server is going down, okay, you wanted to be notified or you wanted to receive a trap notification. Okay, in that case you can use a string monitor. Okay, the string monitors are pretty much useful for grupping or finding some attribute name. For example, the server state, let's say the MW, I mean, I have a managed server, the managed server state is shutdown. If the server goes to shutdown state, just trigger an event like that, trigger a trap notification like that. And gauge monitor, it's like you can manage for example, the heap size. Okay, the heap size should be at this limit, it should not cross 80 percentage of the maximum allowed limit or something like that. You can set it. And counter monitor is like the you can set a threshold value, like maximum connection pool limit or thread pool connection limit and everything. Lock filters are like a lock parser. You can grab a string, and when there is any kind of string captured in the log, you can just be notified about. And attribute changes in like in case of distributed environment where so many people have access to the WebLogic domain and can make a change. We will not be able to know like who has did the change. Okay, sometimes we will be sharing the same username and password for all the console users. So in that case, in order to be notified when somebody is making any attribute changes, like some listen port change or server name changes or creating a new server or any attribute related changes, okay, you can be notified about it. And trap destinations, what is a trap destinations? Okay, so we will be talking about this trap destination later. First, let's create a string monitor. Okay, I'm creating a new string monitor here, and I'm gonna name the string monitor as SNMP string monitor 1. I'm gonna name this as sorry for the interruption. So I'm gonna name this monitor as SNMP string monitor 1, and I'm gonna monitor an MBean type. There are actually so much of MBeans. As I said, WebLogic system exposes all its management related data as an MBean. Okay, so these are all the MBean which WebLogic is exposing. In order to know like which MBean is handling which task or something like that, you have to be aware of the what you call the MBean structure. And if you are familiar with WLST, you can pretty much go to WLST and see like where is the information available. Okay, I'll give you a real-time demo. So let's go to servers. Okay, I'm leaving for now. So MWI server 1 is running. Okay, these are the servers, these are the state, right? I wanted to see the state of a server MWI server 1. Okay, I wanted to know like which MBean is managing my managed servers state. Okay, are all the server JVMs state. Okay, if you don't WLST, you can easily get it. I'm just connecting, I'm just showing you like how to get it in through WLST. So we are going to implement the same thing in SNMP as well. So I'm connecting to yes. This is not a secure way. You have to use a store user config in MW inventory. And if you go, there is a steps like how to use secure way. You can find it here. Okay, WebLogic WLST store user config. It's a security best practice. When you have a time, you can go and read. Like you can replace this connect with kind of config file and key file. You can go there. So let's go back. So I have connected, as I said earlier, I have been connected to an mbean server config. Okay, there are so much of other mbeans like domain runtime, let's say server runtime, and what else, domain config. Okay, these are all the other mbeans. I can just use it. So now to get the server status, which mbean we need to go. I am going to, the server state is a runtime information, right? So I'm going to a domain runtime. Okay, sorry, I have to invoke it like this. Okay, now I'm here, domain runtime, in which I need to go to server lifecycle runtime. Okay, I have I went to server lifecycle runtimes, in which I am seeing all my servers, and now I'm have to go to MWI server 1. It should be running, right? It is running in the server, so it should be running. It should show us running. Yes, it shows running. So okay, so we know like which mbean is actually handling it. The mbean is server lifecycle runtime, right? And what is an attribute name? With the state attribute is actually holding this state information. So having said that, let's go to the SNMP. Click on SNMP, domain scoped SNMP agent, string monitors, and create an SNMP string monitor, and I'm naming it as string monitor 1. And let's look for server lifecycle runtime. Server lifecycle runtime. You see here, server lifecycle runtime, server lifecycle runtime, it's there. Okay, so let's go next. And monitored attribute name, state. What is an attribute? State is an attribute. Okay, you can monitor middleware home, name, type, weblogic home, everything would be available, whatever is available here. So I'm get using the state attribute because that's where the running information and everything will be there. So I'm going next. What is the string to compare? Okay, whenever the state of MWI server 1 turning to shutdown, which means I am shutting down or somebody shutting down the server, I have to be notified, right? So I'm just using when the server lifecycle runtime state is turning to shutdown, notify me. Like that, I'm creating a string monitor. Fine. But we haven't mentioned the MWI server 1. That is another part, right? Because it is a domain level SNMP agent. But where to mention like which server we are going to target it. So in order to do that, after creating a string monitor, click on the string monitor, go inside, and in the monitored MB name you can select the server. Okay, I'm selecting my server MWI server 1. If you are creating a server specific, which is a decentralized model, if you are creating a server specific SNMP agent, you don't have to do this monitored MB type, because by default it will take the MB no, the target server MB. So let's save it, and let's go to MWI domain, and yeah, the SNMP agent. We did created a string monitor. You can see the monitored MB name is MWI server 1, and the monitored MB type is server lifecycle runtime, and the monitored attribute name is 10. And in trap destinations, if you go here, okay, what is trap destinations? The trap destinations actually specify the SNMP management station to which WebLogic server SNMP agents send notification. For example, what is an agent actually does here? As we mentioned here, let's go here, let's read it out, where it is. Yeah, when a WebLogic server SNMP agent receives a request from manager, it determines which mbean corresponds to the OID or manager server, and then it retrieves the data, wraps it, and SNMP response. Okay, it can also create an unsolicited, I mean not requested for. Okay, it can also create informations by on its own, and it can send to the SNMP manager, and it can it is called a monitor, right? So SNMP agent is actually doing it. Now the SNMP trap destination is the way that we are creating for an SNMP manager to communicate to a SNMP agent. Okay, so the trap destination will have its own port number to which we will be targeting our SNMP manager. Okay, I will be showing you how it is working and everything. Let's click new. I'm creating a trap destination. I'm naming it as trap destination 1 and I'm using public. As I said, this is where I need to enter the password. Okay. The community prefix password. Okay, what is the community prefix password that we have used while we are configuring the SNMP agent? Let's go back and see. Okay, leave and come here. Here, what is the password I have, username I have used? It's a Saraway key, right? So when I'm creating a trap destinations, I need to use trap destination 1 and the community password is Saraway key. Okay, host, localhost, and the port number, as I said, I mean, I'm a 4-digit freak. I'm using 1623 as my port number. This is only should be used when you are using V3 settings. So I'm not using V3. I'm using V2. Okay, so if you remember like where we are using, let's go back here and see summary of SNMP agents here. Yeah, here we are using trap version v2, we are not using v3. So we pretty much done everything. Like we have a string monitor which will look for a string whenever the MWA server 1 goes to shutdown state, we will get notifications. And we have a trap destination. The trap destination is here. Okay, let's click here. There is a thing actually, whenever a service transitions from one state to another state, okay, if you want it to be notified, you can just enable this option, notify defer. Okay, so that when MWI server 1 transition from one state to another state, let's say admin to suspended or suspended to running, or any state like running to shutdown or something like that, we will be notified, like notify defer. Okay, if you only wanted to be notified one in case of shutdown, you don't have to select anything. You can just match, notify match. Okay, let's say notify match as of now, because I wanted to be notified only if the string shutdown is there in the server state. Okay, I'm activating the changes. Yes, we have activated the changes. No restarts are necessary. Now Weblogic is actually giving us a tool which is called SNMP command line manager, through which we would be able to check the trap receiving or not. We call it as a SNMP trap monitor. Okay, so I'm just coming out of WLST. I have SNMP here. Okay. Wait a minute, I have done so much of things with it. I just get the correct command SNM. Yes, it's here. So java.weblogic diagnostic SNMP command line manager SNMP trap monitor hyphen p, the port number. What is the port number that we have to use here? As I said earlier, we have to monitor, we have to target our trap monitor to the trap destination, because the SNMP agent will create a unsolicited report, which is a monitor report, and the create a trap notification, and it will be sent to trap destinations. So the trap destination is using 1623 port number, so I have to point it to 1623. Okay, so it's not Java. So just copied it wrong. Yeah, what is address already in use, bind failed 1623. I think I have another tool which is actually blocking it. Let's see it now. Yeah, listening on port 1623. Okay, now it started listening. Now let's bring down our MWI server 1 to see whether we are getting a trap notification. Force shutdown now. Yes. See, we got a trap notification. SNMP trap received. And server lifecycle runtime shutdown is initiated, and it is matching shutdown all the informations. Okay, and you can get the server name also. What is this OID? Okay, see, you will be able to get what is the operation initiated by using this OID. Okay, as I have mentioned in the post, every OID is indicating some kind of certain task. This is SNMP trap OID enterprise. As you could see here, the last two digits, that is what you have to see, the last two digit after 142.625.0, the 70 is indicating that the server was running is now shut down. Okay, 65 indicates that the server was shut down is now running. Okay, when you are starting it, it will be 65. Okay, you can get the complete list of OIDs in this link. You can use it. So that's it. We will see you in another video. Have a great one. Thank you.